evening, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Tonight the topic is wealth, the way to happiness. I think you all generally agree that many people, especially as Chinese, we think that to be happy, you got to have a lot of money, isn't it? So many people spend a lot of their energy chasing after money, and to a certain extent, it's true that money can give you quite a lot of happiness. Why? Because money, if we have money, we can do a lot of things, isn't it? We can buy a lot of things, what we want in life. When I want to have a big house, I can buy a big house. When I have a sports car, and a lifestyle can be very good. You can go overseas, travel. And now I'm told you can even buy a wife, isn't it? Go to a coffee shop, arrange you can have a meet right or something. So that's why people want money, because you can do a lot of things with money. But then, if you really look at it carefully, you find that money doesn't buy you everything. There are a lot of things that we can't get in life just through money. One of them is happiness. You can see in the newspapers about Paris Hilton, one of the richest in the world, and yet he's not happy, chasing after this and chasing after that, and will ultimately go to drugs. Someone ended up in jail. So it's one of the things. Happiness doesn't necessarily go with wealth. Also, we see a lot of wealthy people. They are not happy, and the Buddha says one of the reasons why wealthy people, or even kings or queens, are not happy, because they are tormented by three poisons. What are these three poisons? Greed, hatred, and delusion. You have a lot of greed, you can't be contented, isn't it? You still want this, you want that. You also have a lot of anger, hatred, anger. Somebody says something, says the wrong word, and you think about it the whole day and night until you can't sleep. So it's another cause. And then delusion is another cause. Delusion, sometimes we misinterpret things, don't see things in the right perspective. Basically, sometimes people can say the wrong words, but what is important is people's hearts, isn't it? Sometimes people can be good to you, but sometimes just a slip of the tongue, they say something careless, and they get upset and hurt. So you don't reflect, sometimes you also do the same thing. I don't know about you, I'm very blunt with the tongue. So I think my heart is in the right place. But sometimes we have to be blunt sometimes to make people wake up. So the important thing is the intention. When you study the suttas, you find even the Buddha is very blunt. Surprisingly, some people, they have all kinds of fantasies about the Buddha. Buddha is so good and so good, you can't say anything bad about people. It's not true. Even with the suttas, the Buddha used to have a long-standing quarrel feud with Brahmins, because Brahmins always thought that they are the superior class. They are born from Brahma's mouth. Everybody else is born from Brahma's feet, they say. Would you like to be told you are born from Brahma's feet and they are born from Brahma's mouth? So the Buddha said our people are born equal. What differentiates people is their actions. You degrade yourself by evil actions. And then you make yourself noble by noble actions. So there's one sutta where the Buddha likened Brahmins to dogs, even worse than dogs. They're very strong. That sutta has very strong investigation counts. So even the Buddha also can say quite nasty words, but his heart is in the right place. That is important. So don't get upset if people say the wrong words sometimes. It's important. So besides that, a lot of things in life is like rich people. They are still not happy because sometimes a person might be born into a rich family, but it might not have beauty, or it might not be handsome. And be another person, maybe from a poor family, beautiful. So that's one thing that we cannot buy. And sometimes you are born to a rich family, but you have a weak body, always sickly. Yeah? I find somebody else very strong. People are not born equal. You see those people in the English Premier League, so fit. David Beckham, extremely fit. Many of us are like that. So that's one thing. Another one is life. You may have wealth, but you may not have life, the blessings of life. For example, many years ago we had Global of Indian Air to Penang. His son was reporting the papers. And many years ago he was getting something like 50,000 ringgit salary from his father. At the time probably worth 100,000 every month, So he was having living a high life. But at the age of 35 or something, he got murdered. So you see, this person, he has the blessings of wealth, but not the blessings of life. And wisdom is another thing. Something we find in a rich family, you have a son or a daughter born with Down syndrome. What to do? Money cannot cure that. Yeah. So what does that mean? It means blessings, this wealth is only one of many blessings that we need if we want to be happy. But it's not the only one, and it's also not the most important one. What's the use of having wealth if you don't have life? Yeah? Probably life is the most important, isn't it? The most for us. So we need a lot of different types of blessings to be happy, not just wealth only, right? And the Buddha says that all these blessings can be cultivated. It's not that God gave it to you or God took it away from you. To us, God is just Mother Nature, not a being up there with a long beard. So the Buddha says we have to understand the Dhamma. This Dhamma actually, the Buddha says, is not something that he invented. Whether the Buddha speaks the Dhamma or he does not speak the Dhamma, we are all bound by these laws of Dhamma. These laws of Dhamma are very natural laws that govern the universe. It's nature's laws, like God's laws. So whether we believe, for example, in karma vipaka or not, we are bound by karma vipaka. It's just that a lot of people don't understand the law of karma vipaka. So because these people don't understand the law of karma vipaka, they go against these laws, go against their conscience, and do things principally motivated by greed, hatred and delusion. Right? So either they suffer now or they suffer in the future. So it is very important, the Buddha says, to understand these laws. And because the Buddha had become enlightened to these laws, he tried to teach us these natural laws so that we walk the right way and we have a happy life now and hereafter. And if possible, always. So the Buddha is basically, the Buddha's teachings is about skillful living. Nowadays, life is very dangerous, right? We have to be skillful in everything. Not only skillful in making money, Even eating also you have to eat right. If you eat wrong, you end up with heart problems, diabetes and all that, yeah? Some people, they like to drink Coca-Cola, 7-Up and all that every day, and end up with diabetes. Yeah? Ask Dr. Ong. And nowadays you see in China, eat bao also have to be very careful. So we have to be skillful in everything we do, because life is full of danger. So basically, the Buddha's teachings is also having the same message. The life is very dangerous. We have to be very careful, very skillful in living our life. Just one day ago, I was having this thought, that scientifically speaking, now we are here, but actually the 3 dimensions of time, past, present and future, is all laid out already. Yeah, you think carefully. There's no such thing as now. And you see, now only passes already. Yeah. So where are you? There's no such thing as now. Only when we put our minds here, we think here is now. Or you put your mind to the future, like the Buddha, somebody who has psychic power like the Buddha, he can see the future. How is it he can see the future? Because the future is already there. It's all laid out already. How can he see the past? Because it's all there already. So to a person with psychic power like the Buddha, past, present and future is all very clear to him. They are existing all the time. So I was thinking, we should look ahead, say that 50 years from now, we'll be dead. Yeah? So when we are dying, there are many things, many things we will regret. We will be unhappy with ourselves because of the things, the wrong things that we did in this life. And we will also be angry with ourselves with the many right things that we did not do. So, since we know that one day when we are dying or after we die, we are going to scold ourselves. When I was alive, I was so and so in Sg Long. Why didn't I do this and why didn't I do that? So now imagine you have a second chance. This is your second chance. Don't waste your life. So think of it that way. Very happy, you should be very happy, now you have a second chance to live a better life. So don't go the wrong way, so that you regret. So life is very precious. If you look carefully, you find many things come to us once in a lifetime. Once in a lifetime. If you don't make use of that chance, later it doesn't come again. For example, you were sweet 16 only once, right? So at that time, you only had one chance to enjoy your life when you were sweet 16. When I was young, I had a very enjoyable, playful childhood. I remember when I was young, I played a lot of games in Goli, kite flying. I could make kites. Toys we could make ourselves. Then I'd go fishing, I'd go shooting birds, with my 2 dogs. And nowadays I see kids, they don't enjoy life.
Computer. No more birds to shoot.
This morning, on the way here, I was in Tapa. Yesterday, we went to the shop to check the tires. So I saw this small boy going home in the afternoon with a big heavy bag on his back, Carrying such a heavy bag. I really pity him because I remember a few years ago, there were some people who came for a Dharma camp to our Vihara. And there was this young girl, 20-something years old, with a band bag, And I asked her, how come you have a band bag? You are so young. She said, I used to carry such a heavy bag to school and back from school. So you see, nowadays children are quite pitiful. They don't have the childhood. Only when I was in Form 3 only, my brother came back from Prince Edward Lodge as a trained teacher, and he forced me to study, gave me private tuition every day. Then my results improved. Otherwise, I had a very playful and enjoyable childhood. So I was trying to say, many things in life come to us once, and we don't make use of the opportunity, we regret it. So think of it this way, that you have a second chance to live the rest of your life now. Don't waste it. So the Buddha says, these blessings, we want to be happy, we have to cultivate these blessings. There are many, many types of blessings. And if you take the trouble to cultivate these blessings, the blessings will bring you to a good rebirth. Otherwise, most of us, the Buddha says, most human beings are bound for a bad rebirth. And good and bad rebirth means, the Buddha says there are 5 destinations of rebirth. Later books like Mahayana books and Abhidhamma talks about 6 destinations of rebirth, but the early sutras only talk about 5 destinations of rebirth. The 2 happy destinations are the human plane and the heavenly planes. And the 3 woeful destinations of rebirth are the ghost realm, animal realm, and hell realm. And these woeful planes are really places of suffering. Sometimes we don't know the life behind the ghost realm. So when you are suffering, you think, your life is so horrible, I want to commit suicide. But actually, whatever suffering we endure as a human being, it is just sub-soya compared to the woeful planes. There's one old lady in Dhaka comes to our place. She says that when she was young, she was in China. At the age of 12, she had to carry the salt to sell. Every day she carries salt to sell. And sometimes when it rains, the salt will melt. And then she would cry, I salt melting away. And when she goes to people's house to sell, and they find her crying, they ask her why. And they found out that she cries because the salt is melted. And they give her more money. And she says they reduce it. So she complains that her life is full of dukkha. She came to Malaysia, and this person that she married was not filial, faithful to her. So she said she had a life of suffering. And I thought to myself, it doesn't rain every day, when she carries the salt, yeah? But if you're a ghost, every day you walk the streets at night, you'll be crying. Every day looking for food. And what can you eat? You have to eat shit. You have to eat dog's carcass. You have to eat chicken carcass. Nothing to eat, you have to go to the jamban and wait. So, our suffering is nothing at all compared to the woeful pain. So never complain. Some people are foolish, they only take that life. But when they take that life, and then they are reborn in the ghost realm, the suffering is so much more, jumping out of the pot into the fire. So the Buddha says the 3 woeful planes are planes of suffering. And the happy planes of rebirth are the human plane and the heavenly realms. And heavenly realms are much, much more happy than the human plane. Partly because their lifespan is so long, millions and millions of years, and sometimes world cycles. So we have to see how we can get reborn in the heavenly planes, or at least the human plane, and then how we can get more happiness in life. So now I'll talk about a few steps to getting happiness, that we can get in this life and in future lives. The first one is contentment. If we are contented, then we don't crave for this and crave for that. So you're already like a rich man, right? Because you don't want anything. But if a person is not contented and might be a multi-millionaire, still having the thought, the mind of a hungry ghost. The mind of a hungry ghost, and always hungry for this, hungry for that. Some rich people are like that. They are rich, but always want this, want that, unsatisfied. So such a person might be, on the outside, he might be rich, but inside is a pauper, is a beggar, is a very poor man. What is inside is very important, not what is outside. Outside we cannot bring along with us, but what is inside we bring along with you. So you have the mind of even though you are a billionaire, but if you have the mind of a hungry ghost, you'll be born as a hungry ghost. And you are never happy, right? So the first step is contentment. If you are not contented, you are never happy. You know, a lot of people have too much expectations. Accuse one can say. So you see, like some men, after marriage, after 7 years or 10 years, they have what they call 7-year itch. Look for another one. Why? Because they see their wife a bit fat already. How the shape. How can you expect your spouse to remain the same? You also don't remain the same. So women also sometimes have too high expectations. Expect their husband to make a lot of money. So sometimes the husband doesn't make enough money. He's not satisfied. Recently saw the newspapers, the lady, husband working in China, she's going to have a boyfriend here and then end up killing the 3-year-old daughter, isn't it? Cutting up. So all this not being contented. We are contented straight away, we are quite happy to a certain extent. You know, where we come from, the more we have a lot of orang asli, very contented. They don't think of craving for this, craving for that. They're hungry, they go to the ex-mining pond and fish. They get some fish, they can makan already. They have more money, they go and drink liquor. And they have no money, what do? They sleep. In China, they have no money, they worry, isn't it? They go and sleep. They have a very good formula. Imitate a bit. The step is contentment. The second step is not to let unhappiness or suffering come looking for you. Some people, they have this magnetic pull, they attract a lot of suffering, a lot of unhappiness. Why? Because they give unhappiness to us. We don't know the law of karma vipaka, that what you give to others, you get back to it in return. So you give suffering to other people by not keeping your precepts. If you don't keep your precepts, that means you kill, you steal, commit adultery, cheat people, etc. So when you do all these things to others, immediately it comes back to you. So that's the second step. Don't give suffering to others, so that suffering doesn't come knocking on your door. Now, the third one is, if you want happiness to come knocking on your door, to come looking for you, give happiness to others. In whatever way you can, give loving kindness to others. And then when we can, we give whatever help we can to other people. As the Chinese say, dầu lưới chuột lưới, dầu lệch chuột lệch, dầu lưới chuột lưới, dầu la chuột la. Like you come to the Buddhist Society, you come and help in the Buddhist Society. It's very good because you're not doing it for your own benefit. You're doing it for the benefit of all the people around you alone, and not only your generation, for future generation also. This type of work, you get a lot of happiness when you are about to pass away. So that's the third one. You give happiness to others through various types of dharma, and then happiness will come looking for you. Then the fourth one is that a lot of our suffering is mental suffering. A lot of us are plagued with mental suffering. And this mental suffering, the Buddha says, is because our mind is undeveloped. And when our mind is undeveloped, we have 5 hindrances that envelop us, that sort of force themselves on you. What are these 5 hindrances? The first one is sensual desire. Second one is ill will or anger. Third one is sloth and torpor. Fourth is restlessness and worry. Fifth is doubt. Every now and then you see in the newspapers, sometimes an old man is caught for raping the daughter, raping the granddaughter. Why? Because he's under the control of sensual desire. He's so much controlled by sensual desire that he becomes a slave of sensual desire. So that is a source of great suffering. Then the other one is ill will. As I mentioned just now, if you have a lot of anger, ill will, not happy, not cheerful, always grumpy, always angry, can't sleep at night. So this ill will or anger gives us a lot of suffering also. Then sloth and torpor. You have a lot of sloth and torpor, you are lazy, give all kinds of excuse for not being hardworking. And then people are not happy with you, and you are also not happy with yourself. And then restlessness and worry. If you are restless, you can't stay still, always have to go out. Some people always at night have to go out, to do this, have to do that. You can't find happiness within. Happiness doesn't come from outside, it comes from inside. The higher happiness. So this restlessness and worry, and the fifth one is doubt. If your mind is enveloped by doubt, then you hear anything also you are doubtful. And you're asked to make a decision, buy a house or buy a car or do some business. You have a choice of A, B, C. You don't know whether to choose A is better or B is better or C is better. Why? Because your mind is so clouded by these 5 hindrances. So, how to remove these 5 hindrances that give you a lot of suffering is by meditation. And in the Buddha's teachings, in the early suttas, we find that meditation is mainly concerned with samatha meditation. The word samatha is tranquilizing the mind, making the mind calm, peaceful. So if you are able to meditate and direct the mind to only one thing, then you learn to discipline the mind. The Buddha gave a very striking simile to make us understand the working of the mind. Our mind, we are always distracted by the 6 sense laws, by the 6 sense objects. The eye wants to see things, the ear wants to hear, the nose wants to smell, the tongue wants to taste, the body wants to touch, contact, and the mind wants to think. So these six external sense objects are always pulling our attention, and our mind keeps running from one object to another. And because of that, our mind becomes very scattered. And when our mind is very scattered, we don't have muscle up there. We are weak in the mind. So the Buddha, to make us understand how to control the mind, to discipline the mind, the Buddha gave a simile of a hunter. This hunter caught 6 animals, and he tied a rope around the neck of each of the animals, and then he let the 6 ropes he tied together into a knot, and then he let these 6 animals free. And these 6 animals, the first one is the eagle, second is the monkey, third is a snake, fourth is a crocodile, fifth is a hyena, and 6th is a dog. So what happens when the 6 animals are let loose? The eagle wants to fly into the air, the monkey wants to climb up the tree, the snake wants to go into the hole to hide, the crocodile wants to go into the water, river water or sea water. The hyena wants to go up the hill, its natural place, and the dog wants to go into town to look for food. So these 6 animals are pulling in 6 different directions, and whichever one is strongest at a particular time, it will pull and the others have to follow him. And then when he's tired, another one will pull and the others have to follow him. This is a very good simile to make us understand how our mind works. For example, now you are hearing my voice, your attention is directed here. But suddenly, if you hear a horn outside, a car horn, suddenly you are pulled, your mind is pulled in that direction by the sound of the horn. So in this way, you can understand how our mind is running up to the 6 senses all the time. So the Buddha said, in the same way, our mind is like that. Now, to discipline the mind is the same as disciplining these 6 animals. The Buddha said what to do. These 6 ropes that are tied around the neck of these 6 animals, you should not tie together and let them go. These 6 ropes should be tied to a strong post, a strong column. So when you tie the 6 ropes to the strong column, then whichever direction the 6 animals go, they can only go round and round that post until they are tired, and they'll sleep beside the post. So the Buddha said in the same way, to discipline our mind, to bring our mind under control, we have to tie it to one object of meditation. The mind doesn't like to do that. The mind likes to go out to the 6 senses, but we make it pay attention only to one object. For example, the Buddha practiced anapanasati, mindfulness of the breath. So when the breath goes in, you note that it goes in. When it goes out, you note that it goes out. You keep paying attention to the breath going in and going out, going in and going out. When it runs away, again you pull it back. When it runs away, again you pull it back. So over a period of 1 or 2 years, and slowly you're able to get hold of your mind. That is the way to discipline the mind. So when you are able to discipline the mind, it's able to stay with one object. Then you have muscle in the mind, and the 5 hindrances are reduced to such a low level that they don't disturb you. So that is the way to reduce our mental suffering by practicing tranquility meditation. Now, the highest happiness you can get, the Buddha says, is the state of Nibbana. Buddha says, Nibbana paramang sukham. Nibbana is the highest bliss. And this Nibbana actually is a cessation. The state of Nibbana is the cessation of the 6 consciousness. And even though the 6 consciousness ceases, that the Buddha says, that is the highest bliss. How do you understand that? You understand that, I give you the simile of sleep. When we go to sleep at night, we have 2 types of sleep. One type of sleep is the dream state. When we dream, it's not so blissful because sometimes you are frightened, you're agitated, when you dream of ghosts and all that. So it's not a blissful state. But there's another type of sleep, a very deep sleep, where you don't dream. And this deep sleep state is very blissful, so sweet that when you get up in the morning, I don't get up, I want to sleep some more. So, and this state of deep sleep, in that state, it's a bit similar to Nibbana because you're not aware of anything. Sometimes your mother calls you, or your husband or your wife calls you, also you're not aware, it's just a deep sleep state. And sometimes if you're staying in a haunted house, ghosts pull you down from the bed, so you don't know. Just, next morning, when you wake up, you know, who pulled me down the bed? So, on that kind of sleep, because you're not aware of anything, you're not even aware of yourself, it is so blissful. The Buddha says, when you are aware of yourself, the moment you have a self, dukkha comes. When you have a self, you have to protect the self, you have to worry about the self. Every day we bathe ourselves, why? Shame of we have body odor, yes or not? Every morning we brush our teeth, why? Until we have mouth smell. So we take so much trouble because of that eye. So the highest happiness we can get is Nibbana. So these are the different steps. First one is to practice contentment. Second one, don't give suffering to others. That means keep the precepts. Third one, give happiness to others. That means be helpful, do charity to others, help others in whatever way we can. The fourth one is to remove our mental suffering by meditation. And the fifth one, if you want the highest bliss, is to aim for Nibbana by practicing the Noble Eightfold Path taught by the Buddha. Are you all practicing this? To a certain extent. Who is practicing this? The monk and the nun. The monk is contented, doesn't have many things. Practices contentment. Don't need this, don't need that. Pick up a lot of things. And then the monk keeps the precepts. The monks have so many precepts, 227 precepts. They don't harm others. And then the monk gives happiness to others. The dana, the charity that the monk does is give up all his worldly possessions to the family members, etc. And also sometimes people come to the monk for advice and all that. So we give happiness in whatever way we can. And then the fourth one, the monk tries to remove mental suffering by meditating every day, disciplining the mind. And the last one, practicing the Noble Eightfold Path. So if you really want happiness, you have to become a monk. We have vacancy in something. So even though you don't practice all these things, you do what you can. But always remember, the Buddha says that because we are in this happy destination of rebirth as a human being, every day we are using up our blessings. Every day. So you have to replenish the blessings. Because you not only want to be happy now, you want to be happy in the future life, isn't it? Every lifetime you want to be happy, isn't it? So you have to put back into your blessings bank account. Don't use your credit card all the time. Top up. So always remember, reload. Enjoy now, but make sure you are able to enjoy in the future by doing as many of these steps as you can. Okay, I'll stop here.